Building your new picnic table. So have all the pieces laid out, the two tabletops that you received, and the parts. So here we have your table brace, your legs, leg brace, kicker. So you lay your table out. You want this nice and flush here. You want the same gap in the center as you do going throughout the entire table. First step is to grab the table brace and put it on the outside of the table cleats. You want to be towards the outside of the table. You want the same gap here as on the other side. And we'll be using 2.5-inch screws to attach them to both sides. Here's one side that's done, and here is the other side. These are the screws. This is where you'll put the screws, the 2.5-inch screws at. Next step, we'll be putting on the forward legs. So we'll put a bolt through your leg like so, and it will match up with a hole on your table brace. It will go on there just like this. As in this step, the holes and the bolts will usually be tight, so it's recommended to use a hammer to pound them in. The next step is to put your table leg brace on. These leg braces will have 2 bolts in it and will line up with those 2 holes. Once you get the bolts lined up with the holes, go ahead and pound them in. Repeat for other side. Once you get all the washers, lock washers, and nuts on all the bolts, take and snug the bolts up. You don't want to get them very tight. Just tight enough. You still want a little bit of play in it so we can level the table at the end of the process. Okay, so next is your leg braces. There are 2 of them. So you want to center this board between here and screw those 2 screws in, making sure you're flat or flush up there. Once those are screwed in, come around to this side and we'll screw this side in as well. Repeat for other side. Once you have both sides complete, we'll flip the table over up onto its feet, onto a level surface, and level the table. Once you have the table on a flat surface, you want to make sure it does not wobble. Make sure the legs are sitting flat and flush on the ground. Once you have that completed, proceed to tighten the nuts with a wrench. All 4 nuts. After that is complete, we'll put the 4 screws in the bottom brace and the 4 screws in the top brace. Once you have done that to one side, repeat and do to the other side, and your picnic table is now complete. Now in this video, I did not put glue between my joints. You're putting this together, it is a good idea to put glue in between every joint where wood to wood touches. Next is the assembly of the benches. So here are your pieces for the bench. You got your 2 legs, your leg brace, and your bench. So we'll grab a leg here. We're going to put it on the outside of the brace. Now, I'm not going to in this video, but you should put glue anywhere wood contact is made. Slide up against there. We use 2.5-inch screws on both sides. Once you have both leg assemblies screwed on, we'll work on our leg brace. It'll just be in between this board here up to the top here, 4 screws. When we slide these on, push down there, a little bit of gap there, and just kind of push it in until there's no more gap. And that's where it needs to be screwed into. Once both sides are done, we will pound in the 4 bolts for each leg into the holes and fasten them with the washers and lock washers and nuts that are provided. You may need to use a hammer to get these bolts in. Once those 4 bolts on that leg are done and the 4 bolts on that leg are done, your bench is assembled.